Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So welcome to the second session, which again the topic is that way philosophical, but finds direct application in outcome-based education. Right? Vision, mission are still a philosophy, still a thought process, and the value as far as OB is concerned is they should be displayed to external and internal stakeholders. That's all. Okay, and gain and earn 50, 60 marks based on it. But Bloom's taxonomy is a teacher's business. Believe me, teacher's business, and to be done every semester, every now and then throughout the semester. So it is more should be near and dear to heart and brain of the teacher. Okay, the first session was more of philosophical. Second is also philosophy, but then philosophy which is implementable, should be implemented by the teachers. And Bloom's taxonomy should be known to the students, no doubt. But it is again a baby to be completely owned and nurtured by teachers only. That too throughout the day, throughout the month, throughout the semester, throughout the year. Okay, throughout the program. Now OB understands that teachers follow Bloom's revised taxonomy in his or her teaching, learning, evaluation, teaching, learning, assessment. These are the three corners, aspects, or three pillars of the academics, education. No, teaching, teacher teaches, learner learns. And at the end of the semester, there is, or maybe through continuous evaluation, there is the evaluation of the student. Right now, assessment, examinations we give them, and students appear at write the examinations. So oral examination, viva, defense, written, mid-sem, end-sem, in-sem, assignment, quiz, project, whatever you do, it's all assessment, right? And then assessment is the most important, rather it's a 33% important component in teaching, learning, evaluation. It's three vertices of the education triangle. We always describe it, TLE or TLA. So it's a teacher's baby completely, right? Teaching, how does a teacher do teaching? There's a feedback. Typically in all the institute, there's a feedback by students for the teacher and the course. Is it not? And that feedback is teacher's evaluation, therefore. Can we say like that? Yes. So that evaluation word means teacher's evaluation and student's evaluation. By and large, student's evaluation, but also teacher's evaluation. Okay. So academics or education on campus for the program means TLE. Got it? TLE. So we use this word quite often. Teaching, learning, evaluation, teaching, learning, assessment. Assessment, evaluation, one and the same. Assessment whose outcome is numeric is known as evaluation. The evaluation is value, no? So it is assessment. Examine the student. Examination is assessment tool. But marks obtained by student is evaluation value. That's the way. Okay. So assessment, evaluation, there is a thin line discrimination between the two as far as meaning is concerned. But then they are one and the same. TLA or TLE. Remember that, right? Bloom's revised taxonomy. Taxonomy is classification, categorization. Taxonomy as the English word means categorization. And Bloom was a great gentleman. Probably he was a social scientist. Okay. And that too a psychologist, mind reader of humans. That is psychologist's game. Okay. And so he way back in 1956, he came up with his taxonomy, Bloom taxonomy. About what he came, what taxonomy he was doing. Okay. He said that human brain, human heart, and human hand. What did I say? Human brain, head means brain, I should say. Okay. Brain is a biological component. Okay. It's a kind of a stuff in the head. It's available. Heart, invisible, right? Heart, man, I should say. Mind is invisible. Heart is again an organ in the human body. Brain also organ. Hands, naturally organ. So he said, human being learns. Throughout the life, human being learns. So the learning process continues from birth to death. Throughout the life, human being learns. Learning happens through three organs. Head or brain, one and the same thing. Hands and the heart or the mind, right? Mind is invisible component of heart, invisible side of heart. Brain, head, both are visible. Anyway, they're organs. Okay. And hands are anyway visible to me. Okay. Countable things, stuff. So he said that human beings are going to learn throughout their life through these three organs: head or brain, heart or mind, and hands. right? Can I categorize hierarchically, bottom up or top down, the way human beings learn? That was his tough topic. Is it not? Quite a tough research. He did that. And then, based on this research, he gave his results to the world in terms of Bloom's taxonomy. His categorization about the way human beings learn from their birth to death. I think you understood. Okay. So human beings are lifelong learners. A one-day born child starts learning because he has some kind of sense of hunger, and a sense of hunger he indicates to his mother, and the mother feeds him. Okay. There from the learning starts and it continues up to the last day of the life. Okay. We all are lifelong learners and we learn using our head or brain, hands, heart and mind. That's the way. Okay. And he categorized, classified, tagged, stamped the way we think for our learning. Okay. That's a simple description of Bloom's taxonomy. Taxonomy is classification, categorization, stamping, labeling. What are you saying? In the today's machine learning era, classes and labels of classes are there. There are classes of learning and every class is labeled. That's a machine learning language which you are nowadays aware of. Okay. Two good quotes. Again, a philosophical lecture, so good quotes are there. Relax and just listen. Mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be ignited. Ignited minds, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, it reminds you of that, right? Mind is not a vessel. It's an empty vessel, but not to be filled only by bad thoughts. Okay. But a fire to be ignited. Minds are to be ignited. The fire should be blown to such an extent that something creative comes out of the mind. Somebody to touch, he did that. Anyway, presentation is not mine. Again, compiled one. So no name of mine. Another quote, a good teacher makes you think even when you don't want to think. Good, no? So all teachers are there. So we should be boasting on this statement. A good teacher, but we should be a good teacher for that, right? So teacher who is good will make students to think. Believe me, Bloom assumed that learning is equal to, not equivalent to, learning is equal to thinking. That was his thought in 1956. All the great teachers in the world, great philosophers of the world still feel that learning is a thinking process. Learning elevates, probably stimulates, whatever you say. It is equal to thinking. And therefore, a good teacher makes you to learn, therefore makes you to think. That's another quote. Okay. These are transformation. I said, no, all the great universities in the world, they said that we want to render transformative education to the students. So OB also says goal of education should be what? Program, ENTC program, electronics programs, computer science program should have an educational objective, PEO, for what it should be. Every educational program should convert a raw student. Now CET scores are announced yesterday or day before, and there will be inrush of entries now, admissions. Okay, students are raw, even though they are trained in a methodical way to crack the CET and JEE, they are still raw. They are learners for us. What do you want to do? End product is competent engineering graduate or professional engineers. OB also expects that we want to transform, change the student from raw student learner to competent engineering graduate or professional engineer that they want. How would I do that? It is a subroutine now. Okay. How would I do that? It is through intended, framed, a priori framed objectives and goals. So program education has got objectives. Program education objectives are there. Why does ECE program exist on campus? Why does IT program exist in SPIT? Why does electronics program exist in SPIT? Every program has a sole objective to exist on campus and to deliver something to society. So objectives, goals are a priori defined, beforehand defined. They're intended, therefore, known to the stakeholders. Okay, the IT or computer program in SPIT is in demand. So society and parents and students know about it, that the objectives are well defined, and naturally through curriculum. Curriculum is the most sanctitized entity in the education process. Curriculum is a give and take, right? No, curriculum is delivered. Curriculum contents are delivered to the student by the teacher. So what does curriculum encompass? Teaching, learning, assessment. Assessment is more broad term, evaluation is part of it. So that is curriculum. So program education objectives are fulfilled by curriculum teaching, by curriculum learning, by curriculum assessment, and I achieve the outcome. What is the outcome? Outcome is competent engineering graduate or professional. That's the goal of education. Okay, I have completed this total block schematic, therefore, right? So raw student, I want to convert to competent engineer or professional engineer, and through established program education objectives and goals, I want to attain the outcomes. So program outcomes, okay? So PEO is the input, PO is the output. Remember that. PEO is a philosophical input to the system. Program outcome is the attainable parameterized and quantifiable stuff. Okay, it is through curriculum, which I do every marvel, achieve the outcome. That's the program education objective and program outcome. Program outcome is something which is very tangibly measurable. Okay, a materialistic thing. Program education objective goals are something which are philosophical, more philosophical, right? That's the way. So goal of education are like this. Yeah. And what do we intend? Curriculum teaching, curriculum learning, curriculum assessment, examinations, evaluation. Okay. Through all this, no, from program education objectives to program outcomes, through curriculum, what I want to deliver, I want that learner should have acquired sufficiently new knowledge. Sufficient new knowledge. He should have acquired sufficient new skills, and he or she should have acquired a new set of attitudes. Knowledge, skill, attitude. Education aims at acquisition by the learner and delivery by the teacher about knowledge, about skills, about attitudes. Okay, so what is the end outcome of any educational program, or rather even a simple learning session or a course? Every course, every program, every learning session should give you the knowledge, should give you the skills, should give you new attitudes. That is intended. Proportion can change. My today's session was on, let's say, on Fourier transform. I have just given the knowledge, but not the skills, how to implement Fourier transform using C program or Python program. That skills I didn't tell today, but my session was knowledge oriented. I didn't teach anything related to attitudinal development of a student in my Fourier transform session. That I did, okay? But then when I taught a course on signals and systems to my students, how much knowledge I delivered? Probably 60% knowledge I delivered. 30% skills I delivered. Now they know how to implement all the transforms in MATLAB and Python and C probably. All of them know. Also I developed a mathematical attitude liking in my students. Every course therefore has got some knowledge, some skills, some attitude. KSA to TLA. Good, no? So education means actual mode of delivery is TLA. What is the acquisition or gains to the learner is KSA. So it is KSA through TLA. Okay. Generally it is said, philosophically Bloom also said like that knowledge acquisition through TLA from the teacher to student, it happens typically in the form of theory sessions. Theory courses typically. Theoretical knowledge is a knowledge. Okay. Then theory means knowledge. Skills means lab. For engineering technology program, skills means lab. Okay. Simulation tools and hardware systems development is a skill. Students will learn software, hardware, implement, deploy, create, design, everything. That is something a skill. Okay. So all engineering science courses, they come to deliver knowledge through theory. All lab courses, they deliver skills through the laboratory sessions. But the attitudes, the most tough part, it comes from our humanities, social sciences, arts, management, those kind of courses. A course on professional ethics, a course on communication skills, a course on human psychology, a course on industrial psychology, a course on economics, that develops different attitudes in the students. Value imbibement. Okay, that is attitude, tough part. Knowledge from theory courses, skills from lab courses, attitudes from such things, unmeasurable many times, right? But this is all purpose of education, goals of the under teaching and assessment. We do that. So TLA is a commodity, entity to be delivered. KSA is an entity to be acquired. Okay. TLA is more of part of teacher. KSA is acquisition part of learner. Okay. TLA comes from teacher's end. KSA goes into student's end. Okay. So KSA is a receiving entity. TLA is a transmitting entity. that one can understand. So TLA to KSA, that is something which we have to do, right? As I said, taxonomy is categorizing the things, no problem. Taxonomic classification are synonymous. Again, the same I have told you already. And there are systems or hierarchies that have been devised other than Bloom's. But Bloom taxonomy became really very popular, accepted, adopted throughout the world. But let me admit, also Professor Chaudhary will admit with me, we didn't know it until we confronted with OBE. Believe me, as a teacher, I was quite old that time. Okay, as late as 2010-11, I came across this word, Bloom's taxonomy. I was already 22 years old as a teacher. I had 22 years experience as a teacher, but still I didn't listen to him. Okay, Bloom's taxonomy I heard only after OBE. Let me admit that. And probably it is educationist in the world. They know more about Bloom taxonomy, not an engineering teacher, but it is understood well now. Now I understand, now I deploy, now I have extracted the meanings of Bloom taxonomy verbs and I started also working on it, no problem, right? And I said, you know, teachers have to understand, digest, assimilate everything, Bloom's taxonomy, and implement it in their teaching learning assessment. How? That will come to it at the end of the session. So this was in 1956, some history here. 3 domains of education. I told you already, Bloom assumed, there are many education philosophers, they assume that human beings learn through head, in head, through head or brain, they acquire intellectual skills. So knowledge is typically assimilated, gathered and retained. It's based on head or brain. That too, most of the time, left part of the brain, which is not much creative. Right part of the brain is creative, people say like that, okay. Whereas left part of the brain, normal routine intellectual skills, knowledge acquisition is the brain's part. Acquire and apply, that is head's part, okay. Brain's part, intellectual skills. So if IQ is more, intelligent quotient is more, then intellectual skills acquisition rate with which the student acquires these skills is naturally more, okay. This is known as falling in a domain of learning known as cognitive domain. Cognitive is what? I recognize something, okay, sense and recognize, right? So cognitive domain is something which is very, very visible, transparently visible, okay. And then that is something which can be measured also. How much intellectual skills I could get at the end of my session, at the end of course, at the end of program, I can measure that. Can I differentiate? JEE advanced topper is certainly more wise, more IQ based person, student than a CET topper. Is it not? Naturally, it is but natural. Student who goes to IIT Bombay, CSE is more IQ brain using person than a student who comes to COEP. Naturally. So this is sometimes God gift, sometimes developed, don't know. There is something beyond question. So we should not comment on that. But head, intellectual skills, knowledge acquisition capability, IQ, everything is in the cognitive domain. Bloom's taxonomy more or less addresses cognitive domain of learning, more or less. Okay. Hands generally do practicals, hands-on skills, laboratory sessions and all and all. It is known as psychomotor domain. Psychomotor is something related to motion, activity, eventfulness. How much active we are, how much interested we are in doing motion, displacement. Okay, that is the way. Psychomotor is dependent on that. How much skilled we are. I can say head means more of white-collared placements, right? Jobs. Hand could be more of blue-collared on the shop floor, doing something with burning the hands, blackening the hands, and so on. But the third domain, which is more of a rather more difficult, heart. Heart is behavioral skills or attitudinal skills. Heart is a home for that. Heart and mind and therefore it is affective domain. Cannot be easily measured. In our curriculum now, engineering curriculum, which is now mandated by AICTE, all autonomous courses for design, we take care of all these components. Some courses to be learned by brain, some courses to be learned by hand, some courses to be learned by perceived and let's say sensed by heart. Okay. Typically humanities, social sciences, management, these relate to behavioral skills, attitudinal skills, but is affective domain of learning. Okay. More of heart oriented stuff. Arts, performing the arts, liberal arts, typically heart oriented. Okay. right part of brain becomes more creative and active in a heart related kind of skills gaining, right? Hands-on, more of blue collared, more of shop floor, coding, programming in the workshop, in the shop floor, it is more of practical hands-on. Intellectual skills, more of acquiring knowledge, becoming more researcher, more philosopher, all heads there, cognitive domain. Though Bloom claimed that his philosophy, his taxonomy applies to only cognitive domain, now it is measuring or encompassing all this, head, hand, heart, all the things together. It can measure, okay? And more tough is heart. Heart related stuff, acquisition of knowledge or learning is through, I can say all humanities, social sciences, okay? Head, hand, I understand nicely. These two, head, hand are typically left part of brain and heart is typically right part of brain, more of that. So does our curriculum encompass all these components? Probably yes. Though Bloom claimed his taxonomy more applies to cognitive domain, today it applies to all the domains. Cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, affective domain. Domains of what? Domains of learning, right? He categorized the way human learns from birth to death. Either in a cognitive domain he learns, psychomotor he learns, or affective domain he learns. How it is exhibited and which organ takes care of that? Head, hand, heart. Which are the skills? So you understood. This was all Bloom's classification, the way students or learners learn. So it was mainly cognitive objectives, but it's not like that now. What is it used for? Means of expressing qualitatively different kinds of thinking. So we'll come to that. Words are more here, more number of sentences. Let's not be engrossed in the sentences. Adapter for classroom use as a planning tool. Do we do that? It's a question, but let's think of it. Continues to be one of the most universally applied models. It continues, okay? Provides a way to organizing thinking, means learning skills into 6 levels, from most basic to the higher order levels of thinking. Okay, that's the way it goes about. And in 1990, Anderson, who was a student of Bloom, he revisited taxonomy and revised it. So Bloom's revised taxonomy. And some changes were made. There's a number of them, some changes were made. Those changes will be appearing to you in the next slide. So initially in 1956, Bloom came with his own taxonomy, classification, categorizing the way human learns. He categorized them into 6 different hierarchical levels. Okay, 1990s, Anderson, his student, he revisited that, again kept the thinking or learning levels at 6 only, hierarchically, from bottom to top and from simple to complex, but he changed certain names. Okay, so we'll come to that. What is it all about? A more authentic tool for curriculum planning, instructional delivery and assessment. I said no, you have to practice it. Bloom's taxonomy you have to practice. Aimed at broader audience, applied to all levels of education. All levels of primary, even for school children. Okay, school going children, secondary, primary, higher, engineering, technical, science, whatever. To every education it applies. Therefore, and the revision emphasizes explanation different subcategories. I will come to that. This is the description. So, what is the aim of the session? Bloom taxonomy and higher order thinking. Investigate the revised taxonomy, new terms and new emphasis. Why it is revised? 1990 it was revised. Explore each of the 6 levels. There are 6 levels of learning. As I said you, the way human brain, human hands, and human heart learns. That is categorized in 6 different classes, 6 different levels. Okay, and it is hierarchical also, not random, very sequential, from bottom to top or top to down. Okay, so in both ways it is strictly hierarchical, strictly sequential, not random go. Okay, and it was learning in the way Bloom perceived it. It applies to all human brains, majoritarily all human hands, majoritarily all human hearts. Okay. And then how can we attach it now to not only curriculum design, not only course delivery, but also to examination. Okay, that is something, a question which is a $1 million question for all of us. Yes, this is the important slide. I have many slides in this presentation. I will not be able to complete them, but because this is the reference presentation taken from Google, therefore I can share it with the open source kind of stuff. So we can easily read it for the next kind of, when you have leisure time, you can certainly read it. And then I will not be able to complete it therefore, okay? You can read it. And then what were the original terms? What I said you again, the way in which human being at any level, okay, any level means either UG, PG, whatever level, undergraduate, postgraduate, research, whatever level, okay, he or she learns. The way he thinks about learning, okay, is this, that first the human brain will go for simplest thing is acquiring knowledge. Simplest thing. Original term is acquiring knowledge. Simplest. The first job anybody's brain will do, a common man's brain will do, is acquiring knowledge. That he will do, certainly will do. Okay, he or she will do, can do, able to do. Okay, comprehension is the next step. All acquired knowledge cannot be comprehended. Cannot be comprehended, cannot be reproduced as it is. So comprehension is a bit difficult. Okay, so comprehension goes above knowledge, hierarchically above knowledge. More sharp brains, average brain can always acquire knowledge. More sharp brain will be comprehending the knowledge, reproducing it in some other language. Okay, we are going to just simply going to explore these terms as we proceed. All brains and hands and hearts cannot apply the acquired and comprehended knowledge to the actual real life. Real life problem is faced, and it's not possible for all the people, all the persons, all the individual to apply that knowledge. Not possible. So application goes hierarchically above, right? Not all the students or learners can analyze the problem faced. Not all. Okay, some of them are gifted individuals who have got analyzing capabilities. Okay, analyzing capability naturally. So they are analyzing, researching, investigating, exploring, all this, analyzing the problems, because we have to provide the solutions ultimately. By the way, all of you know, engineers' definition is what? Engineers are solution providers to societal problems. That's all. Simple definition. What is it? What do we create engineer for? To provide realistic solutions to societal problems. Solutions which are realistic. Solutions which are not theoretical. Okay. So problems are there in society, and solutions engineer have to provide. So take it from that perspective. Okay. Knowledge is gained to solve the problem. Knowledge is comprehended to solve the problem. Knowledge is applied to solve the problem. Knowledge is analyzed to solve the problem. That's the way. Okay. So some parts of the population, student populations, can analyze the problem. Okay. He can really analyze that. Then he can synthesize it. A more step, one step above hierarchically, right? And then can evaluate. See, all people, these are original terms by Bloom's, which are revised by Anderson, and therefore it becomes like this. Let us invest more time on. So first 4 levels, lower levels, Anderson did not modify. He simply exchanged the upper 2 levels. Exchanged that, okay? Shuffled it, the sequence is shuffled. And he converted all these nouns, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, and then evaluation, into verbs. And the 2 ongoing verbs, continuous present tense verb, creating, evaluating. A learner is remembering. A learner is understanding. A learner is applying. A learner or thinker is analyzing. A learner or thinker is evaluating and creating. He converted all of them to ongoing, continuous, present tense kind of words. Good, no? Like that he did. Okay. So let us therefore have a more insight into this verb. This is a revised Bloom's taxonomy. And it is the way the human brain, human heart, and human hands learn. All the 3 taken together, let's say. Okay. Because we will not apply it to only cognitive domain, we will apply it to all the domains. Okay. Cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, all the domains will apply. And the way they learn, human being as a learner learns, is this way. All can remember. All can remember. A less portion of the individual learners can understand. Lesser than that can apply. Lesser than that can analyze. Lesser than that can evaluate. Least of all can create. Okay. Therefore, first 3, remembering, understanding, applying. Average human brains, hearts, and hands can do these tasks, can do these actions. All human beings can remember, is it not? I was taught when I was born that this is my mother. So I remember my mother till my death. Is it not? Even though she grows old and everything happens, so I'll say this, she gave me birth. She brought me on this earth. So I'll remember forever. I'll never say that tomato is apple and apple is tomato, because I'm taught like that. I can remember, recall. I can remember my parents, my siblings, my relatives, my friends. Long, I can remember that, certainly. Okay, I can remember the knowledge which was taught to me when I was in 8th standard. I can still remember Newton's laws. Remember, recall, reproduce, memorize. I can do that certainly. Okay. But did I understand E is equal to mc square? Let us come to this time. Did I understand that? I can still remember E is equal to mc square because I was a bright science student in my school days. I remember that. Did I understand that domain? Did I understand E equal to mc square? Thoroughly, half-heartedly? I don't know. Understanding goes little above. Remembering I can do. Recalling I can do. But understanding goes one level above. We always emphasize, teachers, that you understand, yeah. Students to understand something. Don't remember, don't recall. Okay, I taught you Kirchhoff's voltage law that over the loop, total the sum of all the voltage should be equal to 0. Ohm's law, V upon I is equal to R. Okay, don't remember it. Try to understand that current is resisted in every conducting kind of a medium. Okay, understand, meaning of that understand, behind meaning you understand. Okay. And then, when I understood E equal to mc square, then my applying ability also is growing. Okay, do I apply Ohm's law to, or let's say Einstein's equation to a real life? Do I apply that? Do I experiment with that? Really, do I apply it? That E is equal to mc square, C was a light speed in an ideal medium. Okay, velocity of light changes in an actual practical medium. Did I sometime experience it? No, I didn't experience that. Did I apply it somewhere for the real cause? I don't do that. But typically, Bloom assumed that average learner, he first remembers, then he or she understands, and also he or she applies. Throughout his lifespan, he somehow applies. So these are categorized as, taxonomically categorized as lower levels of Bloom's taxonomy. This learning, remembering, understanding, applying. Up to that, average human beings, average learners go. They reach up to that depth. Okay, in the learning, they can remember, they can understand, they can apply. Hereafter, the brighter chunk starts. All brains, all hearts, all heads cannot do higher order thinking hierarchically. This starts with analyzing, evaluating, creating. Okay, so these are naturally the entities in the more IQ brains, more heartful hearts, more skilled hands, analyzing, evaluating, creating. See, at the top there is creating. Creation is a top, innovation is a top, right? Evaluating, analyzing comes little, they are also confusing words, analyzing, evaluating, but we are going to explore the meanings behind this. By the way, taxonomically, which are the two classes, low level classes? Remember, understand, apply, and keep on applying, keep on understanding, keep on remembering. Okay, keep on analyzing, keep on evaluating, keep on creating. These are higher levels of hierarchical understanding, learning by a learner. Typically, average population of students can do first three. Brighter population of students can do upper three. We have an average class of students, right? We have average class. We have certain chunk of students who are academically weaker, certain chunk of students who are moderate, meager, mediocres, and we have some students who are bright. Is it not? So probably we can have remembering, understanding, academically so-so students. Applying, analyzing, probably mediocre students. Evaluating, creating, bright students, brightest of all students. Right? Naturally, the person or students who can create can do all the 5 below jobs. Is it not? Person who can evaluate can certainly do 4 remaining jobs, hierarchically lower. Person who can apply, it's understood that he understands and remembers. Okay, so this set of terms is upward compatible, downward applicable. Okay, a creating kind of person will always can always evaluate, analyze, apply, understand, remember. That's the way. But a person whose IQ, EQ, whatever skills, they stop at apply, he is weak in analyzing, evaluating, and creating. That's the way. Okay. So it is learners learning categorization. Broadly two, low levels of thinking learning, high levels of thinking learning. Okay, so mediocre average population of students can certainly go for first three. More bright certainly can go for next three. So my teaching learning, my teaching in class, my curriculum should be mediocre oriented, weaker oriented, bright oriented. What? We have a mixed blended population. Okay, and therefore that thin line balance teachers have to keep on maintaining throughout the semester, throughout the lecture, throughout the session, throughout the course. That is his or her tough task, right? No, to maintain that balance, because some of them are only apply, only analyze, only create, only understand. That kind of stuff you have to go on doing in teaching learning. But major examination comes when I have to balance my question paper, examination paper. Okay, and therefore I say only academically truly autonomous institutes in which teachers have total freedom to design their curriculum and to design their examination. Okay, those can truly enjoy Bloom's taxonomy by applying all this in question paper examination also. Okay, that's the way. So they can really have balance in teaching learning, no doubt, but balance in examination also. Okay, that teachers can enjoy that freedom. So I said all students, all learners do not have all the abilities. Some of them are low level thinkers, some of them are high level thinkers, some of them are mediocre thinkers. Okay, this set happens to be upward compatible, downward applicable. So students who is of creating ability can do all the remaining five. That's the meaning of it. Okay, and therefore the way the learner learns to think and thinks to learn can be categorized in these six kind of stuff. Okay, and it is hierarchy. Remember, it is again and again, it's a hierarchy, strict sequential hierarchy. Okay, all can remember, less can understand, less can apply, less can analyze, less can evaluate, least can create. That's the way. Okay, so we are going to do that. See, in this presentation, the creator of this presentation has literally given you hundreds of words, hundreds of synonymous verbs, action verbs. Okay, and teachers can enjoy while drafting their question paper all these fantastic verbs. I have started doing it. Okay, all these fantastic verbs they can use, and they can simply attach every question in their question paper to Bloom's taxonomy level. They say BL level. Okay, the BT level, sorry, BTL. So Bloom's taxonomy level. I can associate that naturally. So that all that action verbs, no, they start now. What is this remembering? Remembering is recognizing, listing, describing, retrieving, naming, finding. Okay, everybody can do remember. It can recognize, it can enlist, describe, retrieve, information retrieval, name a person, name an entity, find. That all can be done because of this, right? No, so I can do that. That is the remembering task. Recalling information. Okay, information was thrown to you and you have recalled it. You have recognized it, enlisted it, described it, retrieved it. So it's all low-level tasks. Certainly low-level tasks. Everybody can do it. If no, then students are not learners. Okay, learners who cannot even remember, cannot retrieve, cannot name, cannot enlist, cannot recognize, cannot recall, they were not worth of entering to the educational program. Understanding goes above remembering. Okay, we have understood the information. Sorry, we are in a position to recall the information. Can I explain that concept? Can I interpret that knowledge? Can I summarize that information in my own language? Can I paraphrase? Paraphrase is creation, right? Naturally, okay. Can I explain it to others, right? There is a good kind of notion in teaching learning. Those who can understand can only explain. Okay, teachers, those who are labeled as good teachers, are the teachers who understand the concept first, and therefore they can confidently explain. Okay, you must have also realized that, you must have experienced it quite often, that once we understand something, we can explain it to the further extent to the learners. No problem, right? So understanding means what? I have to explain understood, remembered knowledge to the others, interpret it in my own way, paraphrase it, classify it, explain it to the other. That's the way. Okay. So Understanding is something which goes hierarchically above remembering. Remembering, everybody can do, because remembering kind of brain development starts from day one of our birth and continues up to the final day of our life. Okay, but understanding starts at the school days. Little later it starts. Okay, we do not succeed in this way. Only human brain is cultivated and nurtured, right? No, remembering is the first task we give to the child, and then understanding starts when he actually goes to school. And oh, this is 1 + 1 is 2. Then he starts understanding it. This is arithmetic. Okay, so understands the senses and all. Understanding naturally goes hierarchically above remembering. Then comes apply, using information in another familiar situation, implementing, carrying out, using, executing. Okay, because you are now in a position to recall the information thrown on you, because you are able to grasp and assimilate the information, understand the information thrown on you, and you can explain it to others. In applying level, the learner uses that understood information in another familiar situation and does something good. Okay, so let's say in understanding, somebody taught you PCB fabrication. Fabricating electronic circuit on printed circuit board is a skill. Okay, somebody taught you a theory and gave you the information, some teacher, and you now remember that is a FR4 carbon, I can say glass laminate and cladding and etc. etc. All the theory I remember, no problem. Okay, then somebody also told you that how to solder a component on universal printed circuit board, right? And somebody gave you a ready-made PCB, ready-made printed circuit board. Somebody gave you just to understand. Okay, so understood. You're also now able to explain that PCB means it should be fire resistant, it is of copper clad laminate, and it is a construction, there is insulation, everything can explain, no problem. But now, and also demonstration board somebody gave you. Are you in a position or status now to create, now to apply your knowledge gained about PCB and build another circuit, let's say, that is using information in another familiar situation? Are you creating something? No, you are not creating something new, but you had a ready-made circuit board for inspection. You understood that, and now you are going to create, say, build your own PCB, printed circuit board. It is not creation. Creation goes with the another hierarchical level, altogether a new creation. Okay, applying it, using information in another familiar situation, that we can do, implementing it. Implementation is apply. Okay, see, I told you that course outcomes are 5 to 6 in numbers to be articulated by teacher. You remember that. You understood that, oh, I have to now do this. Our course outcome is my baby. I understood that OBE philosophy and I have to apply it. So I will use that for, I taught a course on signal systems. I wrote my own course outcomes. It is application, implementation of my understanding. Is it not? Is CO draft is altogether a creation? Probably no, because it will align with somebody else's also. Okay, signal systems course taught by all teachers in the universe, their COs may align, no problem. But I have applied philosophy of OBE in articulating my own set of COs. Okay, remember, therefore, all these levels of learning now can be applied to anything, not only PCB domain, technical domain, engineering domain, OBE domain. It is applicable to all the domains of learning, right? Analyzing. Here from higher level understanding starts. Higher level learning thinking starts. Okay. Analysis is a researcher's attribute. Those who are only educators. People have a strict boundary. Fakta shikshak jar astil, only teachers are there. Then teachers means those who remember the information, recall the information, understand the information, and teach somehow how to apply the information. That's all. Low level teaching learning, right? Learners also do the same thing. They try to recall the information, try to understand information and paraphrase it, rephrase it, and see to it that they can apply. That's all. Okay. But further, the good teachers should also emit a research attribute in themselves and percolate that to their students. Research attitude starts with analyzing attitude. And we have to put your brain neurons more active. see to it that we make them more, we stimulate them in a greater extent so that I can break the information into parts to explore relationships, comparing, reorganizing, deconstructing, interrogating, finding. Okay, all these terms you can certainly correlate with your research methodology. Okay, problem is there, but problem domain I have to analyze. Whatever information is up to me, I have reviewed a literature, I have to analyze it to explore for relationships, comparing whatever the existing state of art, whatever was only benchmark. Okay, I'll unlearn something, deconstruct something, I'll interrogate, deep into interrogate and find something. Okay, analyzing minds are great minds, certainly. Many of us are meticulously can analyze the situation, can analyze the problem. Okay, analyzing certainly is a higher level task than applying. Applying is simply applying whatever you learned. Analyzing is something, a more gift of God, higher level gift of nature to you, and you have analyzing power and capability among you, within you. Okay, that can certainly, whatever is the state of art prevailing things, you can analyze, right? Interrogate, investigate, that you can do. But now what is the outcome? I can compare, I can reorganize, I can reconstruct, that I can do. Analyzing is certainly an attitude and attribute of a researcher. Okay, so by and large, I can say the education typically can stop at applying, but research certainly starts from remembering, understanding, applying, but it starts at analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Okay, but nowadays, as I told you, education and research are two sides of single coin, and therefore total education means education plus research together. Therefore, we have to deal with all these levels of actionables, all these levels. Learner means everything now. He has to remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create, all of that. But research attitude means analyzing attitude. Existings are to be analyzed, right? That's the way. And remember, knowledge to be remembered, knowledge to be understood, knowledge to be applied. No issues. But from knowledge analysis, when I acquire knowledge, I analyze, then that stands for the step of knowledge creation. New knowledge creation only starts by analyzing existing knowledge. Is it not? New knowledge creation comes from analyzing existing knowledge. Whatever is state of art, that is not sufficient. There are gaps. There is scope of improvement. So let us create something, right? So if you recall my vision statements of Carnegie Mellon and Ohio and all those US universities, MIT, they had knowledge creation. IIT Bombay also, new knowledge creation. Is it not? Knowledge is to be created, and majority of our institutions, they have teachers and learners, and therefore their education up to application of knowledge. Therefore, we are mediocre institutes. See, the categories apply to individual learner, individual teacher, individual leaders, individual organizations, right? IITs are IITs, MIT, Stanford are MITs and Stanford, because they demonstrate successfully that they analyze, evaluate, and create. The faculty students are going to analyze, evaluate, and create. That's the meaning of it, right? Our knowledge, our typical education stops up to application of knowledge. Their education is going to encompass creation of knowledge. There comes the knowledge creation. Okay, it is not an English word only. Knowledge creation is the utmost. Okay, only a true fundamental research can generate new knowledge. When E equal to mc square was evolved by Einstein, there was no predecessor kind of activity to him. He was originator of that equation. Maxwell equation, Ohm's law, these are original thinkers, right? They created the equation. Is it not? They didn't apply, they created. And we spend our life, we mediocre spend our life only applying. That's the way. So analyzing is interrogating, analyzing is investigating, but we have now more chunk of information available to us, right? Then evaluate. Evaluate is something more than analyzing, but it is, see, I have two things. Because I analyzed, I have two tracks to go. Okay. I have analyzed, there were two sets of COs. One came from NIT, let's say Nagpur, other came from COEP, to an SPIT, new faculty. Okay. Faculty is teaching signal systems. HOD gives a task that you simply study COs of COEP, COs of NIT Nagpur, VNIT Nagpur. For your, you have to generally generate a draft COs for the course on signals and systems. Okay, he or she will analyze. Okay, numbers, quality of COs, whether does it give this good message for that COs and all. Analysis is that power. Okay, and that two COs, out of that those two COs, I have to judge. Judging, evaluation is judging, right? It is judging that critiquing also. Critiquing is criticizing, checking, hypothesizing, and justify that out of the two, this is the decision. COEP, signal system COs are better. Therefore, I have evaluated in such an extent my analyzed information that my decision is now justified. I could make that judgment. Okay, evaluation is all about judgment. Judgment, judging the right path. Okay, for solving the problem. For solving the problem, analyzing the problem is over now. I'll evaluate the probable solutions, probable tracks of providing solutions. Right? No, that's the way. So evaluating is all about judging, criticize. For that sake, I'll do some experimentation also. I'll also hypothesize something. Oh, this could be the solution. Okay, that can I do? I can check, but majorly evaluation means I have to justify the decision out of multiple tracks. It's a judgment. Okay, it naturally, judgment is a higher level, hierarchically, the game of our brain and heart. It goes above. Judgment of people, I'll first analyze the people around me, right? No, now, typically my faculty peers I'll analyze first, right? Their natures and their behavior and their what and what not, right? And then I'll make a judgment. So now the judgment goes above analysis. That's the way. My learning is therefore more. And then create, constructing, generating new ideas, products, ways of viewing things, designing, constructing, planning, producing, all that goes at the top of the hierarchy, inventing. The creation is the most wonderful word in the world, right? Creation gives you the most, I can say, accomplishment in the profession or otherwise. Creation is the best thing in the learning, okay? And you will therefore concur with me, align with me, that remembering, understanding, applying, hierarchically it goes above. So this arrow is up, and the upper three are a higher order thinking or learning. That's the thing over there. How many verbs you could find? Compare, organize, deconstruct, interrogate, find. Explore, check, hypothesize, critique, criticize, experiment, judge, justify, design, construct, plan, produce, invent. So see, there is the list and list of simply actionable verbs. All those verbs they attach with create, evaluate, analyze, apply, understand, remember. What is my appeal to all of you, all the teachers? You have to organize your curriculum design, organize your curriculum delivery, most important curriculum delivery, teaching, okay? And organize, plan, architect your exam so that all levels of this thinking and learning are covered. Tough task? Certainly tough task. Certainly tough task. Okay. In examination, can you cover all like this? There can be one question which is only checking the memory of the student, memorizing. Can you recall? Oh, just state, describe, state and explain, or only state, let's say, 4 Maxwell's equations. In electromagnetics, we have Maxwell's equation 4 in number. Okay. So just say state Maxwell's 4 equations in integral form. That is remembering, no? I can ask a question on that, right? Now I'll say understand. So can you explain whatever you understood? 4th Maxwell equation, can you explain? Then that is understanding. I'll say apply 4th Maxwell's equation for something like that, right? Can you analyze and can say that out of these 4 equations, this is more useful? Can you say? Okay. Can you have 2 applications based on 2 Maxwell's equation and can then evaluate that this is better application for this kind of Maxwell equation? Can you do that? Yes. Can you ultimately create that solution? That Maxwell's equation 4 was applied to 2 of these tracks. Can I generate really an end product or application which is based on Maxwell's 4th equation? Okay. Can I ask a question in the question paper which will say design an electromagnetic system which uses 4th Maxwell equation? Can I do that? It is really a tough task. Okay. Can I say that based on 4th Maxwell equation, these are the 2 solutions available? Can you critically judge and tell the teacher, student should tell it that this is the right track. I give based on Force-Maxwell equation 3 situations. Can student analyze that? That's the way. Okay. So remember, therefore, the questions, the way of my teaching, when I actually teach Maxwell's 4 equation in the classroom, all can be aligned in this way. Some 10 minutes of my class on only remembering, something only on understanding, describing, explaining, something only application of that Maxwell equation to real life, something between 2 equations or among 4 equations, how to analyze multiple solutions. I can also architect or plan my lecture accordingly. Can I do that? Yes. I can architect, organize, or plan my examination like this. Can I do that? Yes. See, teaching is a big thought process. No, it is not a light job. It is not a light job. Every session is to be architected. Every session is to be planned and organized. Is it not? If you really think like Bloom, then do I, as a sincere, honest, good teacher, do I plan and architect my lecture like this, organize lecture like this, which encompasses at least first 4 levels of Bloom's taxonomy? Yes, is it doing that? Does my 100 or 60 or 50 marks question paper encompass all these 6 or at least 4 or at least 2? What? That I can do or not? Yes, I can do that. Certainly do that. We have started doing at COEP. Implementing OBE means implementing Bloom's taxonomy for curriculum design, for curriculum delivery, for curriculum examination. Implementing Bloom's taxonomy for all this, outcomes are assured, results are assured, academic performance assured, success rate rollout assured, placement is assured. That is assurance given to us by OBE. So once you implement this thought process of teaching learning, then every other thing is assured. That's the thing. Okay. So now there are some 6 slides which will be simply giving you again some insight about remembering. Learner is able to, I have to read it. Excuse me, I have to read it, and then through reading only we can explain something. Learner is able to recall, restate, remember learned information. To recognize, he can enlist, he can describe. See, here the words start. In the question where you can ask describe. Describe certainly it goes to remembering. So the first level of Bloom's taxonomy, not that high level. Enlist, identify, retrieve, name. All these something go for the way enlist Maxwell's equation. It's a remembering game. Okay. The lowest level of learning game. So it carries it, that question attaches to lowest level of Bloom's taxonomy. That's the way. Okay. Can you recall information? Even a lowest strata of living being population can remember, recall. Okay. Verbs are there. Lot of verbs are there. You can use any one of them. And the list continues. What is remembering? Recall or recognition of specific information. This is endless. List, memorize, relate, show, locate, distinguish, give examples, reproduce, quote, repeat, label, recall, know, group, read, write, outline, listen. And see, you have been now senior teacher and been drawing, setting question papers for so long. How many times you have only these verbs? Distinguish, show, relate, memorize, enlist, reproduce, label, select, underline, cite. Just blame, curse yourself that we were only dealing with the lowest level of Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. Evaluation will relate to quiz and labeling, definition, workbook, whatever, because these are the exam related. Okay. So this is something, a list of verbs, actionable verbs. Okay. You have to incorporate them in your teaching learning, incorporate them in your question papers. From question paper point of view, examination point of view, these are the right verbs over here. Remember, all of them will go with the remembering, which is the lowest level of Bloom's hierarchy. Everybody should be able to do it. Okay. If 100% students attempt the question which is based on remembering, it is not credit to you as a teacher. Okay. But only 20% of the students attempt a question which is of creating level. All of them score high. CO attainment is highest. That is OBE philosophy. 100% students attempting remembering and understanding kind of questions and scoring 100% is not the CO attainment. CO attainment is you necessarily ask a question on evaluation and creation. All the students attempted it, and at least 20% of students get a 100% score in a create kind of a question. CO attainment is good. That is philosophical perception of CO attainment. We numerically do all the exercises, but it relates ultimately to Bloom's taxonomy like this. Okay, your teaching learning should be balanced in a Bloom's way. It should, every session rather should share from remembering to creating, every session. Okay, and you can at the end of session you can ask, did I justify from remembering to create in this session, in this course, in this question paper? Okay, and in question paper you only not COs to be related to question number and question type, but also BT level, Bloom's taxonomy level. I can do that. Certainly I can do that based on these kinds of verbs over there. Okay, we'll just skip. Understanding is learner grasps the meaning of information by interpreting and translating what has been. So interpreting the information, exemplifying, give examples of, summarize, write a short note on, infer upon, rephrase, classify, explain. Okay, so we say no, state, define, enlist, explain. This has been our typical traditional question paper type. This is still belonging to only first two levels of our question paper. So how much should we be blamed? Okay, now OB recommends and advocates that all your COs should also be Bloom compatible. Means what? The first CO could be understand, second CO should be apply, third CO should be understand, like understand, apply, create, evaluate, everything. Okay, do I have at least one create kind of CO in my COs list? Do I have one CO which says apply? Do I have any CO which says understand? Do I have any CO which says evaluate? Okay, more COs which relate to upper level of understanding, more good COs you are articulated. Okay, remember, understand by default, but apply, analyze, evaluate, create are not by default. So if your COs and the course is designed such a way that they focus more on upper hierarchical levels of Bloom's, and your COs are good, your course is good, your mentality, intention of delivering that course is good, so is your examination. That's the way. Okay, all courses are meant for remembering and understanding. All courses are meant for it. But does the course also give a scope to learner to apply, to assimilate, to evaluate, to analyze, to create? Then that course has got more wide scope. Okay, remember that. Therefore, that's the way. So courses can be classified, teacher can be classified, question paper can be classified, categorized, learners can be classified based on Bloom. I simply wonder how wonderful thinker that Bloom was. Okay, when I'm alone, I think of Bloom's taxonomy, and I can think that Bloom's is applicable everywhere. Is it not? In our education, it's applicable everywhere. I can align my COs with Bloom. I can align my course syllabus with Bloom. I can align my question paper with Bloom. I can align my way of answering with Bloom. Everything can be aligned with, synchronized with Bloom. That is his great kind of stuff, right? These are the verbs here. Verbs have been given. Understanding is restate, identify, discuss, retell, annotate, translate, give examples of, reorganize, associate, describe, report, recognize, all. Okay. Understanding of given information. Evaluation can include recite, summarize, collect, explain, show and tell, exemplify, quiz, list, label, outline. Okay. That's evaluation means examination can include. That is something which is, all these are verbs over there. Okay. And this we won't come. Applying. Applying is learner makes use of information in a context different from the one in which it was learned. Good, no? I have to apply understood knowledge in the lower level of hierarchy. I have to understand the knowledge and apply to a situation which is different. Because the dog has been shown, he is thinking therefore. Applying the thinking actually starts. You have to implement, carry out, use, execute. Can you use the information in another familiar situation? That's the way. Okay. So applying is like this. Apply goes with these verbs: translate, manipulate, exhibit, illustrate, calculate. Calculation is part of applying. Make, practice, operate, interview, paint, change, compute, sequence, show, solve, collect, demonstrate, dramatize. Okay, illustrate, simulate. Simulation is part of application. Okay, I understood Ohm's law. I went to a circuit simulation software and I simulated that Ohm's law. Okay, it was only for a single mesh or single circuit loop. I am going to apply it to a similar situation wherein I have now 4 loops. Okay, I'm giving circuit examples because I'm a circuit man, therefore, right? Therefore, I'm going to do like that. Is it not? I understood how to write a Python code for a simple Fourier transform computation. I applied that now to wavelet transform computation. I wrote a Python code on my own. That is application certainly. Because I was knowing Python programming language, I was knowing Fourier transform. I understood them. I understood wavelet transforms, how to apply how to apply Python knowledge to write a code for discrete wavelet transform. That is something an application. Okay. So it goes naturally one hierarchical level above. Is it not? Analyzing. Analyzing is, so once I analyze the multiple things available to me, then I can compare, I can reorganize, I can unlearn and then relearn. I can attribute, I can outline, I can find, I can structure, integrate, and so on. Can you break the information into parts to explore understandings and their associations, correlations? Okay, and humidity and temperature are going to affect the rainfall. Okay, I'll come to know only when I analyze the monsoon data for the years. Is it not? Analysis is therefore really a tough level of researching, investigating. Okay, today is a day of data analytics, years of era of data analytics. To analyze and analyze data so long available, 150 years of monsoon data, and then I'll make all the predictions, estimations of next year's monsoon. A lot of things, information I need to analyze. This really needs a scientific brain, certainly. Okay, and I have to correlate of humidity and temperature and cyclone occurrence, something happened, and therefore the monsoon will be like this. Otherwise, El Nino or what? Okay, all that correlation, regression business is a part of analysis. Right? Analysis, see, we use this, no? Distinguish, compare, contrast, appraise, experiment, inspect, probe into information, arrange, investigate. Bubble sort is analyzing method, right? Sorting method, analyze, sift, separate out, right? Research, calculate, criticize. These are all debate. These are all verbs of analysis. Okay. Evaluate is judgment, I said you. I have got now 2-3 analyze solutions with me. I have to criticize them, balancedly criticize them, assess them, and see that I can hypothesize, I can criticize, I can experiment, I can pass on my own judgment. Can you justify a decision or course of action that this problem is right? Okay, I had got 2 codes of Python, same for DWT with me, submitted by 2 students. Okay, I have to evaluate means what? Which Python code is more optimal, which is more hardware friendly, which has used least library, which is computationally more attractive. Can I evaluate that? That is something which is to justify your decision of qualifying the one Python code more than the other. That's the way. Okay. So see evaluation, there are again parallel verbs over here. Judge, rate, validate, predict, assess, score, revise, infer. Another say higher order level words over there. Okay. Value, argue, prioritize, compare. The verbs ensemble here, the vocabulary shown for verbs is overlapping. No? It's overlapping, certainly. But then you can have your own set of subsets created from this, and you are very judgmentally, you can use them. Value, articulate in COs, and you draft your question paper. Okay. Only takeaway from this is what? That you're going to apply initially this, immediately this to your CO articulation. COs must encompass higher order verbs, higher order thinking verbs. Okay. Not only remember, actually they should discourage that at the end of my course, the students will be able to understand and remember. Avoid this. Avoid this. Rather, you can have only one CO which can say understand and remember together. Other all 5 COs should be more of application specific and evaluation specific, creation specific, etc. Also, you can deploy immediately this in your question paper by arranging your questions in that manner. You should have all the components in your question paper, right? All of that. That should be there. So these are all the verbs of that evaluation. Creation, as I said, design, construct, plan, produce, invent, devise, make. Can you generate new products, ideas? Okay. We used to have in our electronics and telecom, electronic system design, a course on that. And there was a course on microcontroller based system design. I faced that course in my PG in 1990. Okay. And then we had a course on microcontroller. It was microcomputer based system design. The professor, the examiner that time, used to ask a 40 marks question, section 1. We were university affiliated at time. Question 1, 40 marks. Design a microcomputer based embedded system which will sense temperature, humidity, pressure, rain, etc. from the atmosphere. And he used to frame that. It was a one-page question, whole. And it used to be all the specifications of real life system. It was a design, create, and 40 marks. 40 marks of 100 means how much? It was almost 1.5 hours. 3 hours question paper was there. So you could invest 1.5 hours, 90 minutes, 80 minutes in attempting that question. Then other questions were quite conventional then. Describe and state and explain. But the first question was design, it was creation. People use that kind of autonomy in COEP, right? It was all early private colleges days. COEP was solely autonomous. All we had professors like that, okay? IITs also got the tough examinations, assignments. Their assignments are more of creation and evaluation and analysis oriented, not on remember and understand oriented, okay? Examinations are going to instigate, stimulate higher order thinking in the learners' brains and hearts. Then that creation will happen, okay? These are all verbs of creation. Compose, assemble, organize, invent, compile, forecast, devise, propose. All good verbs are there, right? And so putting together ideas or elements to develop an original idea or engage in creative thinking. This will go long and long. I have another 10 slides remaining, which I won't take. Actually, there is a slide like this, that how to compose, how to frame lower and higher order questions in the question paper. And how do we do it? There is some guidance on that. That is there. And then what should be the question format? Questions for remembering. What happened after? How many? What is? Who was it that? Can you name? Find the definition of. Describe what happened after. Who spoke to? Which is true and false. These are question formats for remembering kind of level. Okay. And the originator of this presentation has given. Anyway, can you explain why? Can you write in your own words? How would you explain? Can you write a brief outline? These are understanding related questions. What was the main idea? Can you clarify? Can you illustrate? That is something, a way we compose questions for understanding. So there is questions for applying, questions for analyzing. How is it similar to? If happened, what might the ending have been? Which events could not have happened? What are some of the other problems? Can you distinguish between this or analyzing? What were some of the motivations behind? Evaluating, is there a better solution? Judge the value of, can you defend your position about? Do you think it is a good or bad thing? How would have handled and all? Okay, these are evaluating. Similarly, create. Can you see a design? Can you see a possible solution? If you had access to all the resources, how would you deal with? These are all questions. Can you create new and unusual uses for? These are all question paper formats. See, half the question is given to you, you can apply to your own domain. Okay, the original creator of this presentation has gone to that extent. I assume. So I'll just summarize now. The last 5 minutes with me, I'll summarize. Okay, Bloom's taxonomy is a way of categorizing or classifying the way human brain and human heart and human hands learn from day one of the life to the end of the life, right? In the education phases, we are primary, secondary, tertiary, higher, technical, engineering, UG, PG, PhD, whatever education. Okay, at every level of education, we can gauge the learning profile of learner. Therefore, teaching profile of teacher can be gauged, can be measured in terms of Bloom's classifier. Okay, 6-level classifier. It is the way, natural God-gifted way in which human brain and heart also works. Remembering is simplest, understanding goes hierarchically above, then comes applying, then comes analyzing, then comes evaluating, then comes creating. And there are so many synonyms of that. Okay, that's the way. So he was a words of the most wonderful thought leader. I can claim that. It applies to many domains of life, but we can apply it to our education. Curriculum should be Bloom's oriented. It should be creative curriculum. It should instigate evaluation and analyzing abilities in the student. It should also have some remembering, understanding component. So for teaching, every session, every course, should have teaching which is compartmentalized. First 10 minutes in understanding, next in let's say applying, and so on. I can do that. Really, I can organize my lesson plan accordingly. And most paramount is apply this to your question paper. If you're autonomous college, then apply all this to your question paper. Make question paper tougher, challenging the brains of the students and hearts of the students at higher level. Okay. If your intake quality of students is good, then you can really correlate with the upper levels. Okay. Intake quality is poor, you have to only keep on playing in the lower levels of Bloom's taxonomy, hierarchical levels, right? That's the way. So immediate task, you have to, if you're autonomous college, organize your course curriculum, organize your lesson plan delivery, organize your course delivery, organize your course teaching learning, organize your course examination, continuous or end sem, whatever. Align it with Bloom's way. Okay, that's my appeal to all my teacher colleagues, and I stop here. Thank you. If you have some questions, we can take it for 5 minutes. I'll stop sharing now.
Thank you so much, sir. Do we have any questions from the participants? Hello, anybody has any questions? Okay, sir.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, madam. Pallavi, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There is our principal, sir, Dr. Drita Das, madam, Dean Students Affairs, and Dr. Pooja Raundale, madam, HOD MC department. They are available with us.
Okay, sir. Welcome, ma'am. Do we have any questions from your side?
So there is a common teacher's comment, no? That you didn't understand, therefore appreciate anything. You understood and you appreciate everything. There can be only two parts. So I take it as an appreciation or applause. That's my optimistic thinking, that everything is appreciated and applauded. So I leave it to you and both the presentations, because first presentation was co-authored with Professor Chaudhary. So we'll share it with his permission to all of you. Second was not at all mine. It was just a presentation from Google, and all the philosophers have written it. So I'll just be able to share. It's open source anyway. So I'll acknowledge and share with all of you. It is really nice to read it. All the hardcore teachers should read it at a later point of time. Okay, and then apply wherever possible.
Sir, just a moment. I think there is a question. Will you take that, sir?
Yes, yes, please.
So the question in the chat box is, what is the full form for TLA?
Teaching, learning, assessment.
Assessment.
A is assessment. Assessment is more encompassing term than evaluation. Okay. Assessment is examination. And assessment is that way perceived. Evaluation is numeric based. Okay, that's it. Teaching, learning, assessment.
Okay. Anybody else has any question? Please feel free to ask the questions.
Madam, I have one query to sir.
Sure,
Yes,
sir. Sure.
Actually, please correct me when I will raise this query. Sir, actually, while framing the vision mission statement of the institute, private organizations, unaided unaided institutes, aided institutes, government, they have management who can help framing the statement, vision statement. Whereas purely government institutes, by government purely, sir, who is at the top hierarchy?
Now, autonomous institutes have board of governors as an apex body. Okay, COEP being autonomous, they have authority is our board of governors. For non-autonomous government organizations, there is nobody. It's directly the government, right? DTE or probably the higher technician department.
Yes, sir.
So their faculty have to be more self-driven, more self-motivated, because there is no direct boss is not visible. Okay, for us at least reporting authority is board of governors and they monitor closely. That is the advantage of autonomy to us. Every activity of us is monitored. But for government organizations who don't have direct boss, okay, reporting authority, they have to be more self-vigilant and self-motivated. Okay, so that this vision mission kind of exercise is really, really bottom up. And all of them participate.
Okay, sir. Sir, I really liked the idea of what you said, live and let live, in the context of OBE also. I hand over to Pallavi madam.
Okay, so Shoaib sir, do you have any question?
Yes, ma'am. Sir,
Yeah,
just I
yeah.
want to
So,
ask you, while designing the question papers, internally when we design for our internal exam, so obviously we can use the Bloom's taxonomy. But
Yes.
we are coming under some university, so does it have any impact on the question paper that comes from the university while the process of evaluation of these committees regarding the use of the Bloom's taxonomy?
Yes, when the NBA expert committee comes for the evaluation program, then they don't that meticulously check university examination question papers because they're not.
Okay.
But your internal examination, they will scrutinize and they'll say whether you align with Bloom's taxonomy or not. Okay. So for tier 2 affiliated colleges, you can really go demonstrate that you have fulfilled Bloom's taxonomy alignment, at least in your INSEM examinations. Okay. University examinations are out, so you should not do that. But enough awareness is also created in boards of studies at university now. So many of the university question paper also I find now these days aligned with Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. They are posing challenging questions. See, following Bloom's taxonomy means what? Posing challenging questions to the human brains. Is it not? Understand, remember, and then go at the higher levels. Okay. Those kinds of questions are being found
Yes,
in
sir.
university questions also.
And as a matter of fact, addressing the top layers of Bloom's, particularly evaluation and creation or analyze, is not truly possible in a limited hours examinations. So probably we need to address those through the other ways, maybe through our assignments, some project activities and all. This is my perception.
That's also one of the way. See, there can be informal ways of assessment also, right? As he said, that projects and the assignments could be more of addressing the upper levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Papers could be, question papers could be conventional. And if you have
What happens, Professor, our observation, many times people do design a mod 10 counter and correlate it with the 6th level of the.
No, I said creation is altogether different, right? Design stops at application. If it is design of something which is from the scratch and full-face solution, that is creation. Design a mod 10 counter and shift register by something is not at all a design. It's an application of acquired knowledge. So see, our teachers should be elevated, no, in the mind. But what is this? These levels are to be with what? Okay, that they should understand. Then this will happen.
And another important means all these are related with the complex engineering problem as far as OBE is concerned.
Yes,
that then it becomes very, very challenging.
Yes, it's all a complex engineering problems, really. Into that we have to apply from remember to create. That's the context we have to always remember. It's all for complex engineering problems.
So with your permission, there is one more question in the chat box. Shall I read it for you?
Yes.
Certain words are common, like compare is available in both levels, understand and analyze. How we consider it? That is the question.
Yes, I mentioned that there are big list of synonym verbs, action verbs there, but there is a overlap also. And then as Professor Chaudhary just rightly said, that it is again the purview and the way teacher thinks. Design a mod 10 counter is not a create kind of question. Okay, so this teacher has to understand that I'm going to use compare in which context. I'm going to attach the action verb compare related to which level of Bloom's taxonomy hierarchy. That is completely teacher's understanding about his course knowledge and all. So verbs can be overlapping, but then ultimately as teacher grows in wisdom and experience, then probably this insight comes. And by God gift, there are certain teachers at young age only they get this insight. Some can be developed as far as experience goes. As age grows, we collect the wisdom. And this, how to use the same verb in a different context at two different levels of Bloom's taxonomy is left to the wisdom of the teacher.
Sir, just not as a question, but your perception or your comment on this. Somehow, recently I have started feeling that OB actually OB targets actually the all domains, cognitive, psychomotor, as well as affective domains. If we look at the POs carefully.
Yes.
However, in our most of the discussions and processes, we focus only on cognitive domain.
Yes.
What are your views over this?
Yes, sir. We really undermine the psychomotor domains, the hands-on skills, and the other component, like the heart-based, mind-based courses, which we don't have much under the affective domain, which had been always sidetracked or undermined rather, and we are now emphasizing on that. Okay, that engineering education is all about cognitive domain plus psychomotor plus affective, all taken together. And therefore, I think the curriculum design, which is mandated by AICTE, also takes into account all these components. A balanced curriculum is actually composed out of all these three components. I have become of that opinion now. Okay, not only cognitive, not only which stimulates intellectual skills, but also hands-on, also behavioral skills. All of them should be properly balanced. I am of that opinion. And we started, no, Professor, we started this with you only in COEP as way back in 2011. We had a liberal learning courses, which will be naturally instigating or stimulating affective domain kind of courses. We introduced that in 2011 only. And we are following.
At SPIT now we are, there were already, activity-based courses plus liberal learning courses. We also have included those in our curriculum.
Yes, sir. And believe me, this is world's philosophy, right? Audience, this is everybody agreed upon. It is not somebody is imposing this philosophy on you. It is world proven, and we have to simply submit to it. We should not argue and challenge. It is world. MIT feels that balanced education at UG must be encouraged. Okay, we should also teach them humanities, social sciences, management, along with science and technology. That MIT and Stanford feel, and it is not marketing gimmick. Believe me. And therefore, we also have to balance out our curriculum design accordingly. Yes. Pallavi, should we leave?
Yes, sir. Just a moment, sir. Thank you. I would really like to thank you first because you agreed to give a 3-hour session, and without any hesitation, sir, you have given such a wonderful session that we didn't understood कि कैसे time चला गया. To be frank, so thank you so much for giving us insights into the world of OB in such precise and crisp manner. And not only, I think everybody will agree that they have understood the concepts very clearly, sir. Thank you so much. Moreover, you not only gave us the ideas just theoretically, but you actually gave us practical examples, and whatever examples through question paper, everything were very helpful. So again, thank you so much for that too, sir. Moreover, I heard so much about your experience and your experience with our principal, B.N. Chaudhary, sir. Because of COVID, we have not got the opportunity to interact much with sir personally, like in front. We have not met much, but online only we have got the opportunity to communicate with sir. But every time you have given the experiences, it felt like yes, the experiences by sir are of so much of importance to us as well. So every time it makes me proud that he is part of SPIT now and he'll be leading us. So thank you so much for that too, sir. Yeah, so on this note, this is the memento from our side, sir. I wish we could have met face to face, but this is how this is the only way we could give you a memento. So thank you so much for your time, and yeah, thank you, sir. That's it from my side. Okay, sir. So on this note, with permission from Chaudhary sir and Kasambe sir, I think we should end this session. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, okay. Let us end.
Thank you, sir.
For all the participants, the next session will start at 5 o'clock. Please try to join 10 minutes earlier. All the information will be provided on WhatsApp link. The same link has to be utilized to join the session. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the session as much as I did. Please, you all can leave the meet. We will see you at 5 o'clock. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Ashwini ma'am. That really motivates us to work. Thank you so much.